Hello, welcome everyone to Autom8Aesthetics marketing plans for 2024. I am Sam and we have.
Me, I'm Tibisay. Hi, hello.
Hello everyone. All right, let's dive right in. I know everyone is super excited for the year of 2024. You want to see what's good, what's new, what's happening in the world, especially in the world of medical spas as it gets more competitive, more crazy. Um, let's dive in. I guess, Tibisay, where would you like to start?
I would like to start with us introducing ourselves. I don't think our audience knows us just yet. So, how about you start and you tell them who you are, what you do, and where you've been?
Absolutely. Well, my name is Sam. I own Autom8Aesthetics. It's a company that specializes in website development, marketing, CRM, automation tools, everything for the whole aesthetic space. So whether you're a medical spa, anything like that, we take care of you. My background has been sales and marketing for the last 13 years, so I'm a bit of a dinosaur, but I also have a lot of expertise.
Yes, I mean, they do say that you get wiser with age, but you also get better with age.
I think,
So, my name is Tibisay.
I think it's more like cobwebs come into place instead of that, but who knows? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, my name is Tibisay. I am a social media manager and community manager. I have been doing social media work for many different companies since I think 2017 now. So it's been quite a while. And I have basically grown up with the internet. So I know how it works, what it does, and how wild it has been this whole time. And yeah, I work with Sam for Autom8 Aesthetics, and we work with so many different cool stuff about aesthetics and med spas and all of that good stuff. And I am very excited today because we're going to be talking about what the marketing plans are for 2024 and how you, audience member, person listening to this, can make your 2024 the best year ever for your marketing spa, for your med spa, sorry.
For your medical spa,
So,
the competition.
the competition. So, Sam, I do have one question. What have we learned from 2023 that we are going to be taking into 2024?
Do you want to talk from highest priority to lowest priority? Because that list is very, very, very long.
Start with the ones that you think are the most important, the ones that our audience will relate to the most, and then we can go downhill from there, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess one of the biggest things is that this is an ever-growing space. It's becoming more and more competitive. To get into it, it's not as competitive. There's a very limited barrier to entry. You get your certificate and then you're good to go. Basically, all you do is buy a laser hair removal machine and you're a medical esthetician. So it's becoming more competitive. But I'm also noticing that as many new medical esthetician shops are popping up, there's just as many that are popping down. So this is a great kind of tip to help you to be sure that you're the ones that keeps their door open, because it's tough out there, especially with laser hair removal machines. You know, they're basically the price of a supercar, 140 grand, 120 grand. It's pretty big investment, right? A lot of people are taking a step back in terms of what we learned for 2023. I'd say one of the biggest ones and one of the most impactful changes that we've seen is getting away from stock photography. Oh my goodness. I have probably seen, to say, I'm not even messing with you, more than 1,000 medical spa websites at this point, and I can list
Yeah.
the top 5 pictures that I've seen in every single one. It is the exact.
Oh my God. Yes. And you see that all over the place, not just on their website, but like on their social media. And that makes absolutely no sense. Because one of the biggest things that we have learned in 2023 is authenticity is kin when it comes to your marketing strategies, especially if you are going to be showcasing your skills and your services. You have to show the real deal. You cannot rely on stock images at all. You have to show what your client will see as soon as they enter the door. And you can show that so many different ways. And another thing that we have learned so very well during this year is that video will continue to be king in this business. It will continue rising and it's going to become like this insane machine, even if it hasn't already been, you know? And you see this everywhere. You see it on TikTok, you see it on Instagram, you even see it on Facebook. Like it's wild how these people are, well, not Facebook anymore, right? It's Meta. How these people are just changing and it goes so quickly. And you have to be very strategic with what you show. And with that comes in your stock imaging. It cannot be from the internet. It has to be made by you.
Organic authenticity. I agree with that. And over and above that, I would say that other than the stock photography, making it very impersonal, I feel like this is such an intimate service that you're doing. People are literally opening up their legs to you and showing you
That
their
is
private
so
part.
true.
Do you want them to see the same photo that the other 20 local medical spa competitors are using, or a real general idea of who you actually are, right? And
Yeah.
this kind of leads me to the next point of one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing is social media. I'm not going to discount it. Social media is phenomenal, but I see way too many
Yeah.
people focusing and pouring all their attention into social media without focusing anywhere else. They have tons of really great videos, really great photos, funny stuff, all over Instagram, all over Facebook, all over TikTok. And then their website and their Google side is just completely neglected. They don't do anything there. And it's super, super sad. Again, social media, super important. That's why Tibisay is here. She manages that. But at the same time, you can't have one without the other, right? You're going to go search for a
Yeah.
restaurant tonight. You want to go to a spicy date, but you don't know where to go. Where are you going to go to go figure it out? Probably Google.
You go on Google. You go on Google, and you have to be really mindful of this as well, because it's not just the fact that you're doing social media, it's that you have no plan behind it. You are not leveraging the audience you have there into actual leads. If your focus is just having really aesthetically pleasing content, you're not doing it right, because your content can be beautiful and it has to be, specifically in this industry, it has to be very, very beautiful. It has to be clean, all clean lines, all very, very pretty, aesthetically pleasing. But you also have to remind yourself, why am I doing this for? It's just for show? Or are you trying to get a client out of this? Are you trying to leverage this to something else? And I always think that a lot of people don't realize that when you have focus on social media, you cannot just focus on that. You have to make like a really big strategy going in. You have to think, okay, so I can use this content that I'm creating, but where else am I going to use it? And what is the purpose behind it? So one big thing I can say that would be a great strategy for people trying to boost their marketing. Use that same content elsewhere. Use it on your website. Use it on your Google My Business. Use it everywhere you can think of that people will find and see it. Use it there, because you're showcasing something that it's important to you and will be important to your client. So use it as much as possible. That would be one of the biggest strategies I would give people to do on 2024.
100%. I mean, it takes time to build video content. We get how difficult it is because we do it day in,
Yes.
day out for our clients. It takes time. So if you're going to be investing all of that time, but only using it in one or two places, what is the point? When you can take that same content, take an extra, what, 2-3 minutes to put it
Yeah.
everywhere else? Why wouldn't you do that? It's a low-hanging fruit. It's a missing opportunity.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, and it is something that you have to take full advantage of. Like this, the internet is big and wide, and you have to take your space in it as much as you can, because otherwise you're not showing up where your potential clients could be, and that could be a big, big problem. So, Sam, I do have another question for you. Do you have another strategy to help our audience boost their marketing for 2024?
Not necessarily with the marketing. I want to say that the big one is the SOP, so standard product, standard internal protocol. This is one that I see getting missed a lot. At the end of the day, when you are getting leads, you get super excited, you get sales, you get people coming in, they're doing their services. Great, phenomenal. Nothing wrong with that. But at the very end, when people are going and they're, taking the payment and there's, oh, thank you, how was the experience? Awesome, all that good stuff. Couple of things that need to happen that is currently being missed time and time again. Number one, reviews. Google reviews. Why are you not asking people to write you Google reviews? If they love you,
Yes.
get them to write Google reviews. Number two, once they're making the payment, I'm noticing a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people are not pre-booking the next appointment. If they're there for laser hair removal, we all know they need the next session in 4 to 6 weeks. Book it now, because now you're adding an extra layer that they have to go through, or yourself has to go through, in order to get them pre-booked for that next one. You let them go, then they have to call, or you have to call in order to bring them back in. Skip that entirely. Just pre-book it right there on the spot. Oh, Mr. Customer, your next appointment is going to be about 4 weeks out. What does your availability look like the week of the 20 whatever? Oh, this, okay.
Yeah.
I have some openings on Monday, Tuesday. Okay, this time, boom, done. Simple. You don't have to think about it. They don't have to think about it. You don't have to follow up. They don't have to follow up. You just made it easy for them. They're now coming back in each and every single time, as opposed to letting them walk away. And now you got to follow back with them. So those are two things I would say in terms of internally needs to happen that will also help you to expand on your marketing, because the easier you make it for your client, the more likely they are to actually tell their friends and family about you, right? Now you get word of mouth referral, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people forget about working on their follow-up system. You can get a lead, but if you do not pay attention to what happens before, during, and after, you're basically screwed. Like, what else is going to happen there, So you can get as many leads as you want, but if your process is really, really inconvenient for your client, they're not coming back. And what you're saying is basically just cut the middle ground and get to the point and get to the bottom of this. How can I get to the bottom of this? How can I get to this client rebooking and referring and like getting people in and giving us testimonials and doing all of that stuff? It's not just the services that you're providing. It's what happens after. It's that conversation you have with them. It's that feedback. And absolutely. If you get a client, what are you going to do? A lot of people, and you mentioned this to me as well, like a lot of people have a really big problem with their following up system, especially at the very beginning of the acquisition process. Like you get a call and somebody calls that med spa and is like, I want to book an appointment. And they try to leave a voicemail. It doesn't go to voicemail, or it just simply rings out and nothing happens. You don't get a message, you don't get anything. Like that's such a big missed opportunity to just let that go. What happens with that client? So I agree with you 100%. SOPs, standard procedures are so important if you are planning to do something. You have to have a plan. What happens before, what happens during, and what happens after.
Absolutely. I would even go to add to that. You were talking about making it easy for the customer. Make it easy for yourself. Once you start to get busy, you're not going to have time to follow up with people. Hey, by the way, it's about 4 weeks. Let's book you in. You're not going to have time for that. Just get it done out of the way. That way.
And you're going to miss clients. You're going to miss so many clients if you keep doing that.
Absolutely. Which goes to the next point. If you're focusing on your lead flow, I am seeing this quite a bit. Especially at the beginning, you're by yourself, you don't have a receptionist yet who can handle calls, or maybe you have a couple people, but neither of them are receptionists, they're medical estheticians. And your lead flow is coming in, all of you guys are busy, you get a phone call, no one picks it up, right? If they don't hear anything back from you, you have about an 8-minute window to reach back out to them before they're calling the next place and they're done. I cannot name the amount of times that I've heard medical esthetician owners say, hey, I get someone, I call them back 30 minutes later and they don't pick up and they don't give me a call back. Guess why? Because they called the next person in line. They found you, called, no answer. They went to the next person, called, there was an answer. They booked them in, done. What you need to do is you need to set up a way where you can have an automatic text back. Hey, Mr. Customer, super sorry that we missed your call. We're just with another client right now. Back. And what that does is it extends that 8-minute window out to an hour and 2 minutes, an hour and 3 minutes. So now it gives you the time to focus on who you're working on right now. And as soon as you're done, hop back, give them a call, get them booked in, answer any questions, all that stuff, you're good to go. But if you don't have that, now that 1 hour window, you get 5 phone calls and all of them are within that hour and you didn't get 10 minutes to give them a call back. Those are 5 leads that are gone. Simple as that. Moving on. There's a lot of value here.
Yeah, I bet they are. I think that goes to another episode, I believe, like the time sensitive process of what happens after you get the lead or what happens after the person even just calls. Because a lot of people do forget all of that. Like the focus is like getting people in, and you're not nurturing those leads. So I think that's a really good place to go to another episode for that in the future. So be in the lookout for that. It's going to be really good. In terms of what else are we going to be doing in 2024 that comes from 2023, and I believe it's just collaboration. People forget this. The social media aspect and the online aspect of things is a very social place. There is competition. Absolutely. You are competing with your friends or with whoever's attentions you want to grab, but you also have to realize that you are also collaborating. You're collaborating with so many people. So I think collaboration is a really big part of it because you can use that simple term and that simple word for so many different things. So one thing I love seeing when I am gonna hire a service is actual live footage of what is happening during one service. And that doesn't have to be like the full thing, you're not seeing full coach out, right? But you are basically showcasing what happens with your client. You can use your client as part of your social media testimonial process. And you can reuse that content for your website. But you can basically just have a little Instagram story up of whatever service your client is getting, and they can show and tag them on there, and they can showcase that to all of their friends because they can share it on their story. And you're already maximizing your amount of space, your amount of reach, your amount of visibility. So collaborate with your clients, collaborate with your friends, collaborate with even your competition. Sometimes that little competition can be very healthy for you to grow and go different places. And I want to know if there's any way for you to use that collaboration system on the more analytical aspect of things, like the ones that you do that are completely different to social media.
I really like that point. That's actually a really big one that I'm probably going to bring up with a few clients that I haven't brought that up in a while. So I like that. Thank you for reminding me of that. In terms of that, I just want to add to that before I answer your question. When you have friends that are sharing your post, friends or just, let's call it a customer, and that's it. And you're tagging them and they're sharing it. And let's just say that you give them 5% off for sharing it. Majority of the time, who are the people that are following you on Instagram? Unless you're an influencer, most of the time it's going to be your friends and family members. They're
Yeah, absolutely.
Most and they're going to be local as well, right? They're kids that you went to high school with, they're family members that are local to you, etc., etc. So they see. Here's the thing: how many times, Tibisay, have you purchased something, or have I purchased something because a friend recommended it to us?
Oh my God, so many times. Actually, my hair lady, she is the mother of one of my best friend's best friend. And I met her through that. And she was all like my friend's best friend was my nail lady. Like we did everything through that process. They are amazing. And I would 1000% recommend it to anyone that is within my local area looking for somebody that does that. Because I trust them. Because I believe in my friend's opinion about them. And I knew it was biased to some degree because obviously like they're best friends for so long. But you also have to know, like, you can see that their work is good, but you also get that extra layer of real honesty from a friend or a family member telling you, hey, I really like this person. I really do think you should go to them.
Exactly. And that's it. I've purchased a lot of things because a friend recommended it as well. So now what you're doing is you are tapping into that person's demographic, right, on social media.
Mhm.
What that's going to do is you can post all the nice videos that you want, but if you get enough of those people sharing your content, you are organically going to kill it in this market. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to say, oh, my friend, reposted and I saw, and then I asked her about the results. She said nothing but great things about you. Otherwise, if you don't do that, they went in, they did their treatment, and none of their friends knew that they probably did it.
Yeah, absolutely. So maximize your time with your client. I always say this, like maximize your time with them as much as you can. Like take pictures, mention them on your social media, talk about their services, make reels. Like so many clients nowadays are so willing to help you and they are so excited to see what you come up with and what you do with them. And they're proud of the services that you are providing. So take that into consideration. They are proud of what they are receiving. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting it. And otherwise, they wouldn't be putting their time, money, and energy in it. So maximize that opportunity as much as you can. And it goes like not just for social media purposes, it goes to so many different places. Because the best way to understand your client or your potential client is to talk with your current client, talk to them, understand why they got to you and not to your competition, and maximize that as well. But I believe Sam knows a lot more about that than I do.
No,
So go ahead.
you know a fair bit. That's really that was really well said, Tibisay. Know your demographic. I would say customer avatar, but we should discuss that a little bit later in terms of who your predominant customer avatar is, would be where that question is leading up to. But I think that we should leave that for another conversation because that is a very, very deep conversation. Who is your target audience? How you should message to them? How it is that you could get people to look at you and say, I need to work with these guys.
Absolutely. So, Sam, let's talk about two marketing ideas from two different perspectives. I think this is going to be really, really cool coming up in the future. I really like this segment. If you don't like it, we can change it, but I really like it. So, two marketing ideas from two different perspectives. Yours is very analytical, very cold calling, very online. Mine is very social media related. So, I will start with mine and then you can follow through with yours. My two marketing ideas have to do so much with collaboration. I love collaboration. I think it's such a lovely thing to see online nowadays because I see it all the time on TikTok, right? Like these people, they create trends and they create ideas and they can stitch and they can repost and they can duet. And that is part of your collaboration system. So build a community based on collaboration and you will never go wrong because these people are going to be engaging with you time and time and time and time again. And while you do that, make sure, and this is my second idea, and it goes along with that. While you do that, because you're reaching a broader audience, make sure you have little strategies in it to leverage that reach. Leverage that reach to ensure that you get at the very least one client out of it or one lead. Like just make sure there's some way for them to contact you at all times and that you are prompt with your responses. So what do you have in mind, Sam, for your
Just
two?
to add to that last point, what would be a really good example of the second point that you just made in terms of leveraging?
What would be a good? There's so many. So let's say you are collaborating, like we were mentioning before, and your big part of it is, like taking pictures with your client and sharing all of that, right? One way I would do it myself is like add a little link to my post. So once they get onto the story and you click on it, you go onto my story that I shared, and it has a little link in it. And that link can go anywhere. It can go to your website, it can go to your contact page, it can go to so many different places, or you can even just, there are some stickers on Instagram that allow for you to put them in there and just drop an answer, drop a message, drop whatever you want and generate that engagement. So I think that would be the way that I would go around it for that collaboration, making sure that you are maximizing that opportunity.
Absolutely. I'd like to add to that, if I may, as well. Maybe having some type of unique offer where if they land on it, they're like,
Yeah.
wow, it's like they're speaking to me. 10% off of your first service if a friend referred you, as well as that friend getting 10% off.
Absolutely. Just figure out ways to maximize this opportunity to the best of your ability and in a way that makes sense to you and your business. Because one thing that I would say is a buzzkill for any type of business and industry is not delivering on your promises. So do not overcommit. When you are making an offer, make sure that offer can be fulfilled. Otherwise, you are going to be losing the time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So to circle back to my 2 tips, I would reconvene to the very first things that I said, which is going to be do not disregard one lead generating method over another, whether it's social media or whether you're just putting focus on the Google side. Work on both, work on everything, because it's going to take a lot less time. Once you have the content primed, you have the content ready, make sure that you focus on both of them. That also leads me to the next one, which is making sure that your touch point at the end, asking for that review, will also help you to focus and hone in on the Google side of things while you're focusing on social media, as well as re-uploading that content over to Google, as well as your website, and staying away from stock photography, stock videography as much as possible. People are not going to see that stock lady inside of your clinic when they're going into Brazilian laser hair removal. I'm sorry, but she's not going to be there. And most likely she's very unrealistic and unattainable in terms of her beauty standard. So be real.
Yeah.
Don't try to show yourself off. At the end of the day, these are real people just like you. If you are stunning, beautiful, bonus. If you're not, it's fine. Anywhere in between, there's real personability. I probably shouldn't have said that last one, just FYI. But it
That's
doesn't
okay.
on the spectrum.
But it is true though.
Itself.
And I want to add to this, like if you have a med spa business and you're all focused on aesthetics, if your client looks flawless, then is your service good? You know what I mean? Like show the before and after, show what your service is able to do. If you're only showcasing the flawless part of this, you're not maximizing your opportunities. And yeah, I've said maximizing a lot, but it is true. You are misguiding your audience and you are missing so many opportunities to showcase how good your services actually are. So do that, like just take pictures of your clients regardless of how they look like, because that's how they look like. That is the real person that you are offering that service to. And you don't know if that person knows somebody that looks similar to them. And in that case, what happens then? You know what I mean? So it is really important for you to take that into consideration whenever you're doing this. So those are our 2 tips, everyone. In this episode, you got a lot of really, really good information all about what has happened during 2023 that we are going into 2024 and how you can maximize and boost your marketing this year for your med spa. Now, final conclusions. Honestly, communication and collaboration. Talk to your clients and make sure that whenever they reach out to you, you have a system in place to make sure you reach back out to them, because otherwise you are missing out and they are going to be gone. So make things easier on yourself, easier on your clients, and boost your sales. What do you think, Sam?
I love it. I love it a lot. I agree with you completely. And whenever you do get those people, take content and reuse it everywhere. Do not disregard.
Absolutely.
Do not disregard avenues. You would be very surprised what different avenues that you didn't think of would be able to do for you.
Absolutely, 100%. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them below or send them over to us on Instagram at Autom8Aesthetics. We will leave a little link here. If you have any other questions or any topics you want us to cover, let us know. And I guess we will see you on the next one.
Cheers. Bye, everyone.
Bye.